Good Saturday, everybody. Welcome to Saturday. I guess it's not Saturday night, technically, but it's Saturday all the same. Thought I'd change it up a little bit with the opening. But, yes, this is, in case I confused you already, Dog, Cat, Fox, and Friend. Sort of, kind of. And why do I have the DEI Death Watch background up? I don't know. Let's fix that. There we go. It's a crazy day, everybody. It's crazy around here. Trying to change things up for the sake of the weekend and a week or two of absolute madness. Tragedy and controversy and strife, and let's all just try to exhale a little bit, take a break, talk about some other things. And who's joining me to talk about some other things? Well, the Alexander is here. Also, Dog Night. Oh my God, it's a lawyer dog, everybody. Now, I don't know if you know about lawyer dog, but let me
Wow.
That's right. Dog Night. If you don't know about Dog Night, check out the Morning Night Live over on the Dog Night channel. I think it's every morning at 7 a.m. my time? So 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern, 9 Central, and 8:30 Mountain or something. I don't know. However that works. Advocates Diaboli. Hello. Who else is here? Shady Grin. Good afternoon. Blue-Eyed Scream. Hello. Keeverdam. Hello. And thank you, Keeverdam, for putting the Leukemia Lymphoma Society link at the top of the chat box for donation. Guys, if you can, please take a look at that. And if you can donate, please do so. But even if you can't, if you can share that out on social media, that would be appreciated. So thank you ahead of time for that. And thank you, Keeverdam, as always, for providing the link. Theater Wench Ginger. Hello. Kiro Soldier. Hello. Mike R. Good afternoon. Angelverse. Hello. Mike Savage. Blarg. Daryl Odell. Hello. Who else is here? Unfair Ophelia, good afternoon. Kirsten Scholl over on the X Machine. Yes, I am simulcasting on X, so if you happen to have an X account and see this playing over there, you can always retweet it out or just say, hey, there's this guy that streams on X, but you should probably go to his YouTube channel because he keeps splitting his audience in some way because he's silly. The Blakester, hello. JB, good afternoon. Unit 731, much better than Unit 730. Corey Suzuki, good afternoon. And Resolute Germ, hello. So, good evening, everyone. Yes, so I made it a point that this show is not going to contain any of the latest and greatest in controversy or tragedies. Not because they're not worth talking about, but just because it's been everything that everybody's been talking about. So, thought I'd move on. And so, as the first story, obviously, what we have to talk about is, obviously someone who just, recently I should say, got their entire show taken from them. Yeah, and, you do some kind of questionable things on the air, and you have a nationally syndicated TV show, and you have it just yanked out right from under you. We have to talk about that. And, of course, who I'm talking about is Ellen DeGeneres. Guys, Ellen DeGeneres says she was kicked out of show business. Is it time to welcome her back? Golly, she was kicked out of show. I just saw this on CNN. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. It's just poor Ellen. Now, this article is 19 pages long. I am not going to read this entire article, but just for morbid curiosity, we'll go for the first page or so to see what the purported logic here is. Now, I could not do justice the epic that was the downfall of Ellen DeGeneres on this show. There is more than a few excellent YouTube documentarians out there who have covered this at length. First ones I can think of are like The Right Opinion did a big one on there. I think Internet Anarchist did a documentary on it. Anyway, there's several out there if you want to get the full story. But let's just say that Ellen was not a very nice person, despite the persona that she portrayed on TV. and even sometimes not what she portrayed on TV. After a sterling, 15 years or something on the air, some crazy thing, and millions of dollars, and her complaining about having to rough it during the lockdown because she didn't have her studio but was sitting in her mansion. Her show kind of got pulled, and she retreated. So is it time to welcome her back? I don't know. Let's see. Also, before I begin here, Keldrig, good afternoon. And well, I wasn't expecting it either. I just found this like 10 minutes before the show. I was like, what? What is this headline? The Cotswolds, England. Time does not move quickly here. Union Jacks flap gently in the breeze. A golden slither of evening sun drapes a row of cottages. A red postbox, still bearing the initials of the late Queen, stands outside a village church, bathed in the fading light. Oh my gosh, guys, somebody was an English major like me. I have a feeling. When you think of the English countryside, this is what you think of. No, it's not what I think of. This idyllic pocket of rolling hills and picturesque villages 2 hours west of London has been an affluent outpost for retired prime ministers and old money elites for centuries. But there's a new crowd now. They're called, with mild derision, the Chippy Set, a posse of well-known figures who live around the affluent village of Chipping Norton, and are rarely seen by neighbors except when in transit between a growing number of top-end resorts and restaurants. Okay. Quote, they only go there, they don't really come out, unquote, said Simon Finch, who runs a pub in Bloxham, told CNN on a recent warm afternoon. Quote, they leave their chauffeurs hanging around while they eat in cars that are 12 feet long, said Liz, another local who declined to give her last name, complained. Quote, you begin to feel the area doesn't belong to you anymore, unquote. Damn gentrification. And the Chippy Set has a notable new member. On a vast country estate behind an imposing timber gate, Ellen DeGeneres is settling into a new phase of her life and mulling her next move. Oh my gosh, guys. I am on the edge of my seat. I don't know about you. After welcoming A-listers to her TV studio set in Burbank, California for 2 decades, DeGeneres now raises chickens. I bet she has people to do that for her. Battles her riding mower, sure, and ushers wandering sheep from her open-plan living room. She's been spotted taking walks and having a drink in her local pub, the Duck on the Pond. But while Finch and DeGeneres are neighbors near the village of South Newington, they live in different worlds. DeGeneres' spectacular fall from grace in 2020, amid reports of a toxic workplace at her show, made her the signature scalp of a pandemic-era eruption in cancel culture. Yeah, she was canceled for years and years and years of abusing her staff and being awfully weird to her guests. For decades, the American public had been on first-name terms with Ellen. Now she lives in splendid isolation in this charming nook of the English countryside, having told an audience last year she was, quote, kicked out of show business, unquote. The Be Kind to One Another lady, whose coming out in the 1990s was a milestone for the visibility of LGBTQ plus people, actually was just visibility for gay people writ large. That had nothing to do with the bi or the trans. Maybe you say the queer and not the plus. But anyway, is a Rorschach test for many Americans. It is. To DeGeneres' supporters, she's a pioneer who fell victim to a bloodthirsty online horde, taking the fall for a ruthless culture that is commonplace in the television industry and had little to do with her personality. To her critics, she epitomizes the dangerous imbalance of power in Hollywood and the inauthenticity of celebrity personas. A television star who built her brand on everything she was not and duped the viewing public in the process. Now, 5 years after the collapse of her public image, it might be time to revisit DeGeneres' case. It might. Was her cancellation a product of a fleeting era when people spoke earnestly about safe spaces and microaggressions? A time when the left, not the right, was doing the canceling? You know, the left has been doing most of the canceling for the longest time, but whatever. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Were we all too hard on Ellen? No. Okay. Does any of this have, like, an interview with Ellen? Does anybody talk to Ellen? Ellen DeGeneres is 67 years old. Holy cats. Okay, I don't care. She's a multi-millionaire living on a private estate in England, and she gets to play with chickens and sheep and pretend like she's one of the normal people at a pub. Go away. Just stop. You've had your fill. More than your fill. Go away. Your time is done. Is it time to let her back? Let her back to what? Didn't she have like some Netflix stand-up or something a couple of years ago that completely flopped? Yeah, she was a novelty act that she leveraged into a very successful talk show career for 2 decades. Lucky her. And she's done. She can just raise her chickens or have her people raise her chickens for her. Good gravy. Blue-eyed Scream. I'm sure she's still a see you next Tuesday. Yeah, leopards don't change their spots that easily. She was king of the world for 20 years. Nobody could say a sidewise word to her. Nobody could look her in the eye. She had to have brown M&Ms and no green M&Ms, that kind of stuff. You know, anybody looked at her sideways, she would fire them or excoriate them or whatever. It's just silly. And Adam Nixon is here. Hey, Adam. And Simon Willikins, if I didn't already say Simon was. So Ellen is now a colonizer. Apparently so. Yeah, she the American invasion. Anyways, yeah, so I saw that headline. I was like, oh, well, here's somebody else that obviously needs some sympathy. But those aren't the stories that I pre-prepared for today's show. No. I have other things like meth burn by FBI smokes out Montana animal shelter. I guess they weren't judging which way the wind was blowing on that one. Now, I really hope, fingers crossed, knock Formica, that no pets were injured in this event, but let's find out. Billings, Montana, a cloud of smoke from 2 pounds of methamphetamine seized by the FBI and incinerated inside a Montana animal shelter sent its workers to the hospital. City officials in Billings said, oh, so they burned it in the animal shelter? Why? You take that kind of stuff out to like a giant empty field and get like a old oil can or something to throw it into. Oh, what? The smoke started to fill the building during a drug burn on Wednesday, apparently because of negative pressure that sucked it back inside, Billings Assistant City Administrator Kevin Ifland said Friday. A fan was supposed to be on hand in such situations to reverse the pressure so smoke would flow out of the building, but Ifland said it wasn't readily available. So then you don't burn it there. What? The incinerator is used primarily to burn carcasses of animals euthanized or collected by the city's Animal Control Division, but every couple of months, local law enforcement or FBI agents use it to burn seized narcotics. 14 workers from the nonprofit Yellowstone Valley Animal Shelter evacuated and went to the hospital. The shelter's 75 dogs and cats were relocated or put into foster homes, said Ifland and shelter director Trinity Halverson. The shelter shares space with Billings Animal Control Division. When smoke started filling parts of the building, Halverson assumed it was from burning carcasses because she said they had never known about the drug burns. So wait, the shelter director did not know that local law enforcement and FBI were using their incinerator on a regular basis to burn drugs. Halverson said she had a very intense headache and sore throat, and others had dizziness, sweating, and coughing. Quote, not a party, she said. The workers found out it was methamphetamine smoke through a call from a city official while they were in the hospital, Halverson said. Most of the staff spent several hours in an oxygen chamber for treatment. Symptoms have lingered for some workers, Halverson said. They also were closely monitoring 4 litters of kittens that got more heavily exposed because they were in a closed room with lots of smoke, she said. The FBI routinely uses outside facilities to conduct controlled drug evidence burns, agency spokesperson Sandra Barker said. She referred further questions to Billings officials. Wait a second. But it was the FBI that was doing the burn. Why would the Billings officials have anything to say about it? A city animal control supervisor who was present for Wednesday's burn declined to go to the hospital, Iflin said. The FBI agents were told to go to the hospital by their supervisor. The incinerator is meant to operate at a certain temperature so it doesn't emit toxins. Iflin said officials were trying to determine if it was at the appropriate temperature Wednesday. Well, if there wasn't a fan to push the stuff out of the building anyway, does it matter? The shelter will remain closed until it can be tested for contamination. Shelter workers were tested for potential exposure, and Iflin said he did not know the results. Billings resident Jay Edelman went to the shelter on Friday to donate dog food and said he was angry when he found out about the drug burns. Quote, "Why the hell are they destroying drugs inside the city limits?" Edelman asked. "There's so many other places in the middle of nowhere," unquote. That's my question. Why would you do this in a residential or populated area? B, why would you do it at an animal shelter? C, why would the animal shelter not be aware that their facilities were being used for such things, or at least have some kind of warning about it before it happened, in case something went wrong? And D, it's Montana. You can find an empty field somewhere and an oil drum to burn this stuff in. What? Good gravy. You know, if I didn't know any better, this would sound like a government operation. Burning drugs at an animal shelter incinerator. Okay. All right. Meth is in the air. I can feel it tweaking in the air tonight. Oh, Lord. Good gravy. What's next? A daycare center? Keevernam, while I appreciate the attempt at humor, you've now put into the minds of everyone listening the idea that a daycare center requires an incinerator. There's a horror movie that's yet to be made, I suppose. Thanks, Keevernam. Morgan King needs to be off the books. Well then why That's even more of a reason why you do it out in an empty field somewhere where there are no witnesses and no potential contaminants into public spaces. You'll also need cat food and fox food to safely travel on the moon. Yes, that is, the moonites that occasionally DogCatFox catches only serve as a little bit of nourishment. It's the... Okay, you know how in a pepper jack, I've talked about this before, you have to get the balance between the Dr. Pepper and the Jack Daniels just right to where you still have the Dr. Pepper flavor and it's not overwhelmed with the Jack Daniels, where it's like it's at a very smooth and comfortable equilibrium. It's very difficult to do. I don't even have it down to a science yet myself. It's maybe about 2 fingers of Jack and then one of those mini cans of Dr. Pepper. That's about right. Can vary on the day. Well, for DogCatFox, you have to get the dog food, the cat food, and the fox food exactly right. I mean, I have to measure this stuff out to the gram to make sure it's 3 equal parts, because otherwise his digestion just doesn't know what to do with it. Like, you can kind of fool it, right? Like, his stomach says, dog food, and then it looks like, oh, wait, this is cat food. Oh, no, that's okay. It's kind of one of those things you just have to get just right, right? Right, DogCatFox? Wowie, wow, wow. Yeah, so that's the challenge. This DogCatFox food break brought to you by Kiro Soldier. Thank you, Kiro Soldier. More proof that the feds hire Philip J. Fries. It does feel that way, doesn't it? Very, very short-sighted and lazy. Short-sighted and lazy. Moving on, which it decidedly is not a lazy endeavor. I have to say, this next story does not smack to me of laziness, but maybe obsession, and not the perfume. Bride confronts mystery wedding crasher after searching non-stop for 4 years. Everybody's got their project, I guess. The bride said, "I do not know this guy." Michelle Wiley has spent the past 4 years trying to guess the identity of an uninvited wedding guest seen in snapshots taken on her special day. And now, owing to the power of social media, her matrimonial mystery has finally been solved. There's the culprit, guys. Who is that masked man? I mean, not that masked man. You know, he looks kind of like Jason Isaac's drunk brother or something, if I had to guess. But, okay. So there's the husband in his skirt and the bride with her giant bouquet. We have Mystery Man. Okay, all right. So we've seen the Mystery Man. Has everybody seen the Mystery Man now? Yes? Drunken Jason Isaac's brother over here? Okay. Quote, "It was always in the back of my mind. Who was that and why was he there?" Wiley, 38 from the UK, told SWNS, okay, of the unfamiliar fella at her November 2021 nuptials. Quote, "To find out eventually after all this time is quite something." All right. Let's see, before we read on, I'm going to guess it was like some member of staff or something at their event location or something like that. Like Kuroso, that's a kilt? What? What? I don't know what you're talking about. A kilt? That's nonsense talk. I mean, that's not a kilt. This is a kilt. Anyway. The millennial, oh, well, there's your first problem, who tied the knot with her husband, John, at the Carlton Hotel in Prestwick, Ayrshire, spotted the suspicious attendee the second she saw the pics from her big day. Quote, "As soon as I got the sample of the wedding pictures, I noticed it straight away," added Wiley. Oh, so dehumanizing him already. All right. A digital facilitator for the NHS. A digital facilitator. There's a couple of different ways you can interpret that one. Quote, "We all said, 'Do you know who that is?' We were asking around the family and friends, and no one had any idea. No one remembered him being there on the day," she remembered, "and we now know he slipped away straight after the ceremony." Okay, so who is Jason Isaac's drunken brother? Hoping to get to the bottom of the conundrum, Wiley routinely shared the images on Facebook, assuming someone would eventually fess up to being the ransom stranger who crashed her batch. Do you mean random stranger? New York Post. I understand the S and the D keys are right next to each other, but unless that was... Okay, anyway. But sadly, the newlywed never got far in her search until this week. Quote, "I was looking through the wedding pictures and I just thought, I'm going to message someone with a lot of followers and ask if they can share," said Wiley. She reached out to content creator Daza, okay, with over 400,000 Facebook fans and 129,000 TikTok subscribers, asking him to plaster the pictures all over his platforms. Who's Daza? Anybody in the chat, offhand, without looking it up, does anybody in the chat know, from their own personal knowledge and experience, who Daza is? I don't want to feel like I'm the only one who has no idea who this person is. Of course, 400,000 Facebook fans is pretty paltry these days, let's be honest. Anyway, never heard of them, not a freaking clue. Yeah, who's that? Yeah, I don't know. Daz put it up, and within 2 hours, we had found him, Wiley raved. The unknown interloper was Andrew Helleman. And... oh, Oreo churros. That's more exciting news than this. Find me in the frozen section, guys. Oreo churros in the frozen section. Good gravy, that looks like diabetes on a stick, doesn't it? Wow, I didn't even know those existed. Oreo churros. I wonder what my friend in Mexico City will think of that. Oh, there he is again. Look at him. He looks very excited to be there. All right, so who is this guy and why was he there? But he's not just some sneaky creep who gets his jollies by invading sacred occasions for the free food and booze, a la Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn in the 2005 buddy flick Wedding Crashers. Instead, Helleman had merely made an innocent mistake. Well, how long does it take to realize your mistake and vacate? I think you'd realize pretty quick you're at the wrong event if you recognize nobody and then you see the bride and the groom and you have no idea who they are. Anyway, I was at the wrong wedding, he confessed to SWNS after seeing his mug in Wiley's wedding photos on Daz's page. Quote, 4 years ago, my partner was acting as bridesman, male bridesmaid. It's groomsman in the civilized world, thank you, for his friend Michaela's wedding, and I'd been invited as his plus one. Helleman, 33, a painter and decorator, explained, quote, for some reason he told me it was at the Carlton Hotel in Prestwick at 2 p.m., when it was actually being held at the Great Western Hotel in Ayr, unquote. Quote, he had already left in the morning to help with whatever it is bridesmen do, and left me to make my own way to the wedding, unquote. Okay, so when you didn't see your friend there, or at least anybody that you recognized, running late to the feat, Helleman pulled up to the Carlton with just minutes to spare, believing that the wedding festivities taking place outside of the hotel, such as a bagpiper who welcomed invitees with tunes as they entered the venue, were for his partner's friend. Quote, I remember thinking to myself, cool, this is obviously the right place, recalled Helleman, who'd only met the bride and didn't expect to know anyone else at the wedding other than her and his beau. Quote, I parked my car and rushed inside. I made my way into the hall and saw the groom standing and waiting nervously, he added. I had never met Michaela's husband before, so I thought, all right, this must be Ben. The fact that I didn't recognize a single person in this place didn't raise any alarm bells. You mean aside from the fact that your partner wasn't there to be up there with the groom? But bells began ringing in his head once Wiley, a perfect stranger, began making her way to the altar. Quote, the music started, everyone stands up and turned around to watch the bride walk down the aisle, and oh my God, that's not Michaela, said Helleman, who was mortified by the mix-up. Quote, you can't exactly stand up and walk out of a wedding mid-ceremony, he said, so I just had to commit to this act and spent the next 20 minutes awkwardly sitting there trying to be inconspicuous. After Wiley and John swapped I-do's, Helleman made a clean escape to Michaela's wedding. Quote, I was almost as popular as the actual bride and groom and spent most of the night retelling that story to people, he joked. And despite his best efforts to remain unnoticed at Wiley's ceremony, wedding photographers caught him in the accidental act, prompting her years-long hunt for his identity. Thanks to Daza, Wiley and Helleman finally met face-to-face on Thursday. It is unbelievable! Oh, sorry. I just could not stop laughing when I heard the story. It is so funny, and the way Andrew tells the story is brilliant. Quote, you just don't hear about things like this happening, she continued. I just cannot stop laughing about it. It is great to finally find out who it was. The unlikely pair plans to keep in touch now that they've officially met. Quote, our wedding day really was the perfect day, Wiley gushed. Hopefully metaphorically, adding that she wishes Helleman would have stayed for her wedding reception rather than leaving. Quote, but this blunder adds another great story to it that gives us even more special memories. It certainly has put a lot of smiles on people's faces. Aw, well, there you go. The mystery man is found, and whoever Daza is yay hero. Imagine spending 4 years trying to figure out something as inane as that. Now, let me tell you about the time that I spent 10 years trying to figure out what a song was that played on the store that I worked at's radio that I could never find again. Because Way Out West is both the name of a band and the name of too many songs for me to have finally found it. And I only found it because of Twitter. And I forget who it was, but it was some genius hero on my follow list when I just put out the barest of information I could remember about it. It was like the chorus was Way Out West, and it came out around the early 2000s. Anyway, it was Way Out West by a band called Submarine. I think I'm the only one to ever leave a comment on the YouTube video where it's posted on YouTube, if it has comments available anymore. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, I hear a song once or twice and it gets stuck in your head and then you can never find it. You don't know who did the thing and stuff. I get it. Okay. I understand. I empathize with her. I can empathize. It's fine. Frosted Glass, and now she just feels empty without the mystery to solve. It's true. Now, what is she going to do now? What story will she tell? Smash the button. Okay, and when Amada says smash the button, she's talking about the like thing, the thumbs up. Okay, do not turn off your computer. Okay, and if you happen to be Donald Trump, do not smash that button. That would not be good. Now, if you want to hit the whopper button, that's perfectly fine. And those who understand that are people of quality. The like button. LOL, I just woke up from a nap. You falling asleep? Passing out for some reason? Never. Never. Let's see. They really went all out on the decorations. Yeah, that was a well... what is it called? I want to say a well-accompanied wedding. That's not the word I was looking for. Accented? Maybe accented. Scribe, did he at least bang one of the bridesmaids? That is the only reason to crash a wedding. No. He was in the wrong place at the right time. That's what he was. Anyway, moving on. I flew 2.4 thousand miles on an extreme day trip just to satisfy a food craving. Friends were stunned, but I'm thrilled. Okay. Who has the time and the money to burn on such a thing? Let's find out. She's cuckoo for cocoa. One UK sweet tooth claims to be so addicted to a favorite chocolate treat, she flew 2,400 miles for a 24-hour day trip just to replenish her supply, and she'd do it all again in a flash. Quote, people were a little shocked when I told them I was going on a day trip to buy sweets, said Kate Takax, 35, told Jam Press of her epic confection adventure. I guess that is the lady in question. The chef said she specifically traveled from London to Cluj-Napoca, and I'm probably screwing that up, in Romania on September 15th to stock up on Ferio Rocher pocket coffee chocolates, which include a shot of sweetened espresso inside before returning home. Takax departed after work at around 10 p.m., landing at 3:15 a.m. local time the next day. She spent the entire day in Cluj, her birthplace, where she nabbed her long-haul loot. During that time, she also managed to squeeze in sightseeing, shopping, and even picking up a fridge magnet. Nothing but the hardest-hitting news here, guys. Takax then flew out on a 10 p.m. return flight, arriving back in London at 11 p.m. and making it back in bed by 1:30 a.m. Total price for the entire trip, including flights and shopping, just $150. What? Really? $150. From London to Romania and back again. On the spur of the moment. Okay. Flying the cheap skies, I guess. Naturally, taking an international flight for a box of chocolates might sound extreme. Takak's friends were reportedly stunned over her epic jaunt. Quote, everyone thought I was crazy, as some of the items that I bought can be found in London in Romanian shops. said the globetrotter of sating her Candy Crush. It does make one wonder why go to the trouble. However, she advises others not to knock the international day trip until you try it. Well, I mean, if it was her birthplace as well, then you've got a little bit more of a reason to do that. It's fine. Quote, the sole reason was that Ferrero Rocher pocket coffee chocolate. You can't find it in the UK, she says. Okay. And if you hadn't tried it yet, please do so and thank me later. Pocket coffee espresso. This isn't the Romanian's first rodeo either. I didn't know that she did rodeos as well. The world traveler is reportedly hooked on, quote, extreme day trips, having completed a whopping 17 total, with many more fly-by vacays planned. What's the appeal of flying to another country for 24 hours? Novelty, and certainly not the expenditure in this case. Quote, I enjoy exploring new places. It was your hometown. It's not a new place. And it's a brilliant opportunity to see a new country on a very little budget. To me, it's the thrill and the adrenaline and the satisfaction I get once I get my fridge magnet. She added, I do believe more people should do extreme day trips. It's fun. Nah. That's all right. Well, I mean, if it was $150 there and back again, plus, you know, all the little purchases and stuff. If it was $150 total, what was the plane ticket cost? London to Romania and back again. That's cheap. Is Europe just that cheap? I mean, like traveling internally? All right. Well, there you go. Chocolate craving. Frostglass, if you're going to tell me to push the Whopper button, you have to be standing in front of a showboat sign. Well, I don't know what that means. Unless I'm forgetting a part of that reference myself. I mean, I've seen that episode at least twice in the past, but it's been a while. Simon Wilkins, Toronto is my hometown, and there's still many places in it I haven't been. Okay, well, fair enough. Fair enough. No, Europe is just that small. I mean, yeah, London, so London to Romania, 2,400 miles or kilometers or whatever. The devil's metrics. Thank you, Kiro Soldier, again. What were there any hobbits and muffin button? When was the last time I had a muffin? I used to have blueberry muffins all the time for breakfast. Back when before remote working and when I was at the old office. I go down to Starbucks and I get my cocoa and a blueberry muffin. Blueberry muffin. Now I want a blueberry muffin. Thanks a lot, Kiro Soldier. Jeez, making me hungry. Our last story before we get to the special, brief TEDx to fill out the hour. Humpty Dumpty caper at New Jersey mini golf course sparks police investigation. Yes, everyone. We have a mystery on our hands. True crime. I'm returning the channel to true crime for a moment. Living on borrowed crime, Humpty Dumpty caper. Are you ready? I'm ready. Humpty Dumpty took a big fall, and now police are hoping to crack the case. A playful, colorful statue of the nursery rhyme icon was forcibly removed from a structure at a miniature golf course in Cape May, New Jersey, on Sunday and dumped down the street. Local police say they're looking for two men who are seen on video stopping at Ocean Putt Golf at around 4 a.m. Video shows one of them entering the course by climbing over a fence, grabbing and rocking the statue back and forth and pulling it off its foundation before walking off with it. The statue, showing a smiling Humpty Dumpty with big white head, red cheeks, a yellow bow tie, and blue jacket and gray pants, was found several properties away. In a nursery rhyme, because none of us know this, Humpty Dumpty falls off a wall, and all the king's horses and all the king's men can't put him back together again. A message was left at a phone number listed for Ocean Putt Golf, whose Instagram page shows the statue above one of the course's holes earlier this year. Okay. Cape May police detectives are asking for the public's help in identifying the two men seen in multiple videos posted on the department's Facebook page. Are you going to show us the video? Do I have to click somewhere? This takes me to Facebook. I hate Facebook. Okay. Well, I will, for the sake of public information, I will share what I can of these dastardly villains. Okay. So the video is apparently playing. Okay, we're watching. How long is this thing? 2 minutes? When do we see some... Oh, here we go. Okay, see these guys? Oh, here they are, guys. Here they come. Walking down the street. Get the funniest looks from everyone they meet. Hey, they're probably junkies. Oh. Man, now that... If ever there was a security fence, that, shoulder-high barrier there is a security fence. Okay. So they're over here. They turn the corner. They're like, hey, look at that Humpty Dumpty over there. I better be funny to pull it out. Anytime now. Skipping ahead. I'm assuming that this is the Humpty Dumpty. I'm guessing right here. Here we go. Okay. There he is. He's yanking it. He's pulling it very hard. Yanking and twisting and pulling and yanking and oh, it's free! And he takes the Humpty Dumpty. Oh my gosh. Well, there you go, guys. Crime in progress. Or not in progress, but, from 2.5 weeks ago or whatever. Anyway, so if you have any information on two drunk guys wandering around in New Jersey and purloining a Humpty Dumpty head, call the New Jersey police, I guess. That's my public service message for today. Also, Faustonia is here. Hello, Faustonia. You're just in time. For what exactly are you describing? Well, did you not see the video? Did the video not come up? What? What was that? Oh, no. You guys yanked and twisted and pulled that thing. Yeah, no, I don't know what you're talking. I was talking about the Humpty Dumpty. Where was your mind at? Where was your mind at, Blue Eyed Scrape? Anyway, to round out the show, I have found, and I present for your consideration, a 5-minute long, 4-minute, 58-second long TEDx. I'm going to need the psychologist couch for this one. Because the title of this, Breath as an Act of Rebellion. Guys. Breath as an act of rebellion. What is not an act of rebellion is Faustonia making a donation. Thank you, Faustonia. Hiya right back at you, Scribe. Well, hiya, Faustonia. Hiya. Thank you so much. It's very generous of you. You're just in time to learn how breath is an act of rebellion. I mean, I guess it's an act of rebellion against not breathing. Other than that, I have no idea. But it's 5 minutes long. It's too short for a TED Excellence, but just long enough for the sake of this encounter. So let me turn down the music just a smidge so it doesn't get in the way of anything. There's no bingo card for this. I mean, if she spouts off like 4 different squares in the first 10 seconds or something, I might change my mind. But otherwise, let's find out why breath is an act of rebellion.
What if I told you
that the Matrix is real? You guys hear that okay? Let me know in the chat real quick, just to make sure. I'm always wary that the sound is working correctly. Yeah, if you have access to the bingo cards, if you have them on file, you want to pull one out and just play with it, go ahead. By all means. We'll see what happens. What if I told you
Your greatest act of resistance is not in the street.
my greatest act of resistance is not in the street? Okay.
Is not in the protests.
Is not in the Well, I don't generally attend or take part in street walking or protests, so I guess that is true.
Is not in the headlines.
My greatest act of resistance is not in the headlines. I mean, I guess the only way I could do that is if I was the one printing the headlines, but okay.
It's in your breath.
Halitosis?
Yes, in your breath. Because with every inhale, you claim what's been stolen.
You have what you want. Give these people air. Is this Total Recall? Where's Quaid? We have to bring oxygen to Mars, Quaid. You have what you want. Give the people air.
And with every exhale, you push back against silence, suppression, and invisibility.
Oh my gosh, guys. Oh my gosh. This is, I don't know where she's going with this, but if that introduction ends up being the totality of what she's talking about, that is the greatest act of slacktivism I've ever. Just breathe. Just breathe.
And here's the truth.
Oh, okay.
Your body
Yeah.
remembers what your mind has forgotten.
Your body remembers what your mind has forgotten. My mind is part of my body.
It remembers how to freeze, how to shrink, how to disappear, just to survive.
Wait. I can freeze, shrink, and disappear. I'm an X-Man? What? Why didn't anybody tell me this? All I have to do is breathe and I can do all that stuff? I learned so much from TEDx.
But what happens?
Yeah?
What happens when the freeze becomes the prison?
The freeze becomes the prison? I was just making an Arnold Schwarzenegger joke earlier. We didn't have to go into like all of his goofy roles.
The silence inside gets louder than the world outside. I left my homeland, Iran, at the age of 20 with my younger sister, who was 17 at the time.
Okay. And was breathing an act of defiance then too?
We left our parents, our community, and everything we've known as we craved freedom.
You left your parents. That sucks. Okay. Well, congratulations, I assume, on finding a freer land than Iran of however many years ago it was that you were 20.
But freedom doesn't come easy to a body conditioned to survive.
Okay. I'm guessing there was a period of adjustment to a country and a culture and a set of laws that did not exist in your home country. Uh-huh.
At the young age, my body learned the language of invisibility to stay safe, to stay alive.
Oh, man. Is she going to transition into like an actual meaningful talk? And I'm going to feel like an absolute heel for making fun of it. Is that where we're going with this?
But what happens? What happens when that language is a lie? When your body holds the key to liberation only if you dared to breathe it out.
Still sounds like some hippie crystal nonsense, but okay, yes, if you grew up in a suppressive, oppressive, sexist, misogynistic, patriarchal, totalitarian regime, and then you weren't in that anymore, yeah, I guess, again, it would probably take some time to adjust and come to terms with the fact that you're not subject to those same things like you were. Okay, well, fair enough.
I come from a culture of mystic and poets. Rumi
Uh,
said, don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will become your cure.
Well, that sounds kind of masochistic, doesn't it?
And maybe that cure starts with a single breath.
Okay, this is just going to be more sort of quasi-philosophical stuff, isn't it?
I achieved, I built, I hustled, but deep
What?
inside, I was still waiting for permission to exist.
Wait. You were a pool hustler? What?
And then something shifted.
Menopause.
A breath, a sacred act. One day, I was in meditation,
Hippies. I knew it.
still, quiet. And then my body started shaking.
Maybe you were having a seizure.
As if it had something to say.
And then you farted?
It wasn't gentle, it was raw.
Oh my god, I'm such a third grader. What did your body say that was ungentle and raw?
It was terrifying. But it was mine.
Yeah. You own it, girl.
And suddenly, I remembered.
Yeah.
Because breath is a revolution.
Okay. I mean, in the literal, mechanical sense, it is, because it's a cycle. You know, breathe in, breathe out. You can breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth. It is a revolution. It does go kind of circular-ish or oblong-ish shape.
Breath is claiming your power, your body, and your voice.
Sure.
And regulation isn't just self-care. It's declaration. I'm here. I'm free. I'm alive.
Okay, how many different things did I say just then? How many declarations did I make just then, guys?
And here's the provocative truth.
Ooh, a provocative truth. Much better than an inconvenient truth.
We're living in a world that is chronically dysregulated.
A world that is chronically dysregulated.
Numb, burned out, addicted to performance.
Is this just one long scenic route to justifying being lazy?
We don't need more information. We need more integration.
Sure. What does that mean?
We need to come back home to ourselves, to our breath.
Uh-huh.
This isn't just my story.
Oh.
This is our story.
No, it's really your story.
The story of the silenced, the suppressed, and the unseen.
Like Jimmy Kimmel or Ellen DeGeneres.
So I ask you, what if your next breath was your act of rebellion?
What if my next breath was an act of rebellion? Okay, who am I rebelling against? Anybody in the chat got any ideas? Like, who should I, Scribelight, who should I be rebelling against, or who can you think of? I'll take suggestions, and then I'll decide how I'm going to breathe for that one.
Because your breath is the most radical act that you will ever make to go back to your inner compass.
Well, the most radical act I could ever make requires a skateboard and, elbow pads and a helmet and like a Tony Hawk soundtrack or something.
And now, I invite you, gently close your eyes.
Uh-oh, okay.
And put your hands on your heart.
You want me to perform rib separation for this? Okay, my hands are on my heart.
Now breathe deeply and send the breath straight to your heart center.
She's got a rain circle. Or a rain. Is she panning for rain?
Stay right there.
Oh my God.
Stay with me. Welcome home. Thank you.
Wow. Mic drop. Okay. All right. So who or what am I rebelling against? What should I be rebelling against, everybody? I need some suggestions. And then I will try to tailor a breath just for that act of rebellion. Let's see. Who's cheering this? Whatever crowd was preloaded with whatever event this was to be excited about hippy-dippy transcendental stuff, I guess. I am rebelling against you for showing me that, Scribelight. Okay, so, well, here's all I got to say to you about that. Just breathe. Just breathe, Advocatus. That's all you need to do. Frosted Glass, thank you so much. Apparently George Flurd wasn't rebellious enough. Oh, jeez. Oh, no. Oh, you had to make it dark. Oh, had to make it morbid. Thanks, Frosted Glass. Well, at least she was brief, says Faustoni. It's true. Leaves out vital context. Did you get paid for that? I doubt it. And TEDx's are voluntary almost always. Amada, they were cheering because it's over. That could be it too. That could be it too. But boy, I got to get me one of those rain circles. Like put that on, put it on some kind of little contraption that's like powered by an electric drill or something, and just have it like make that rain sound while I'm sleeping, while it's on a little turntable. Yeah, that'd work. That would work, maybe. But yeah, so there you go, guys. Breathe. Just breathe. It's an act of rebellion against all the stress and toil of the world. Not necessarily an incorrect thing. Sometimes you just have to take a minute and... I took a breath against all the stressors and all of the craziness of the world, just for a moment. One moment, trapped within my own inhalation and exhalation. As I have some excitation in my Kokomo or something. Anyway, that's the show, such as it is, guys. Just about exactly an hour. I kept it efficient. I kept it brief. Nice little escape from all the other craziness going on. But speaking of craziness, well, there's still a week ahead of us. And Monday at 9:05 a.m. Pacific Time, noon 05 Eastern Time. Still not yet moved back in time slot. Still Midnight's Edge in the morning. The time slot change has been pushed back another week. So they still have me, for whatever use that I am, for one more week. That's on Monday. Tuesday at 12:30 Pacific Time, 3:30 Eastern Time, and that's PM, mind you, will be the next episode of DEI Death Watch. Granted, there are enough DEI stories to talk about because they've been a little sparse lately. Not a whole lot new has been reported. But you never know, so I'll let you know on the Twitter machine and elsewise. And then, of course, the same schedule for Midnight Sedge in the morning on Wednesday and on Friday. And then, of course, Thursday, stepping back slightly, there will be always the next episode of Official TED Excellence, which will be at 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern. Get all my things right there. And also, before I forget, did you know, and you probably do, did you know I have a Discord server? Would you like to join the Discord server? Well, there's a link to the Discord server in the chat right now. If you'd like to join the Discord server, click on that link. You'll find yourself on the landing channel called Say Hello. And in addition to saying hello, you just have to say the secret word. The secret word will tell me that you are not a bot, actually watch the stream, and have thus earned the right, the privilege, the entitlement to join the Discord server. And today's secret word is Jason Isaac. Just say, hello, Jason Isaac, and I'll know that you did watch the show. Beyond that, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this diversion for the afternoon on a Saturday. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though everyone here is so well behaved. You have very, very little to do. Everybody who donated, either to myself or to the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, link at the top of the chat box, guys. Thank you guys so much for your generosity. Very much appreciate it. Everyone, please do take a moment today to breathe. Breathe in deep and rebel against all the evils of the world. And as well, enjoy your Saturday, enjoy your Sunday. I hope you're all safe and well. And if you're not well, please get well soon. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.